So imagine this is your backyard. Come around the corner onto a nice patio deck, and then, oh yeah. Good morning, everybody. It's Drew from Atlantis, and today I've got an awesome crew with me. We've got Rob and Kevin from Tranquility Scapes, and of course, my other main guy, Colby. So today we're in Hackettstown, New Jersey, and we're gonna be ripping out, doing a full demolition on an existing pond, and then reinstalling our Tranquility pond with dimensions about 7 by 10, with the waterfall just set right at the edge of the pond to give us 2 quick little drops into the pond and creating that circulation and flow. What am I stuck on? Did you put that, did you hook me on this? I've been dragging this thing around like a tail. I was like, what is making that noise every time I step? All right, let me show you what we got to work with here. Here we are. This is an existing pond, probably 5 by 8. So we're gonna reshape this out, give us about a 7 by 10 pond. This old waterfall, which is kind of like a mounded up volcano, ripping that completely out. Going to use some of that existing stone to build up a little bit of a retention wall behind it, fill it in with some soil, sink in our biofalls. A new skimmer is gonna be replaced over here. This way we get a nice cross flow of water into here and then pulled across the pond over there. We've got a holding tank set up just on the other side of our pool. That's where we're gonna be putting the customer's fish while we tear this apart. And then we'll be able to take them right back into the new pond in the same location. This is our only entry point into this workspace. So we've got to be careful not to damage those end capstones. So we're gonna actually build the ramp. We've got soil, we've also got some 4x4 pieces of wood. We're gonna reinforce that so when our machine comes up and over it, it's not gonna be damaging any of those stones. We're also gonna lay fabric and plywood across all of our workspace here, and be mindful that the edge of their pool is right here. Okay, we've got the old liner just about out. There's still a little piece stuck under all this gravel. So this is a perfect example of how not to build your pond. But it kind of was par for the course back when this was built, maybe 20 years ago. Instead of using geotextile underlayment, they used old carpet, which is good, but over time it does break down and then starts to deteriorate and no longer serves as a barrier between the liner and the earth underneath it. So there were roots that actually had grown through on that side over there, and then from this blue Atlas cedar, I believe that's this tree, there's a root that's going straight across where that waterfall was. And in addition, we found an old, I guess, railroad tie retaining wall with a big old metal stake in it. So we're gonna pull that out. And then the dimensions are now over excavated. So we actually have to use some of this, backfill it over into the corner, and then we can start to shape out our new pond. we've got the bottom of our pond rocked in. I'm getting the skimmer hooked up. Biofalls, we're gonna have to wait because we have to bring in some soil and backfill and actually get our 2 frame rocks from in the pond set, and then we can bring that grade back up against the back edge of our pond here. So we're gonna do the rock work around this front edge, keeping it a nice natural shape all the way around, and then we'll disguise the face of that skimmer. This will have 3 lights, so 2 in the pond, 1 to light up that waterfall. But so far, considering the conditions and all of this came out of the old pond, and it was a small little pond. So we've got it shaped out now. We're hooking up the skimmer, laying in some rocks, we'll gravel, put those lights in. We are doing so good. So good. Already in 1 day's time, we got that old pond completely ripped out. Took a little bit longer than we expected. Now our new pond is, I would say, the pond itself is about 90% finished. Now we're already setting our frame rocks for our main spillway from the biofalls into the pond, and then we can set our biofalls, connect our plumbing, and then gravel it, rinse this thing out, and clean up all our garbage. So that means we're gonna be back for a second day. I know originally I said this was gonna be a 1-day project, but it is taking us a little bit longer with that extra tear out time of the old pond. But here we go. Awesome repurposing of the stack stone to make a nice clean wall. We've got a light built into that. We kind of mirrored that on this other side here. Our skimmer is rocked in here. The rock lid will be closed right on top. All of this will be disguised. This over here is a cool frame rock, and then that's our main spillway here, this stone here. That water is gonna be squeezed and rushing over the face of this and just dropping about 6.5 inches from that stone to the surface of the water. So it's gonna cause a lot of churning and bubbling and aeration into the pond, and then pulling all of that over. The customer has an existing aerator that we're gonna suggest they put over in this corner here. This way it lifts this dead corner, pulls that water all the way over, and you get excellent circulation. They've got a lot of fish in here, so using beneficial bacteria to help break down that organic waste from the fish is gonna be absolutely helpful. In addition, that biofalls up there is gonna be the heart of what keeps this pond clean. We're gonna sink that in 18 inches above water level. So we'll have a nice drop out of the biofalls and then a quick drop right after that. So this is gonna be a really cool, neat waterfall, totally transformed from what it looked like before to what we got now. So you guys hang on. We're gonna be back in the morning and wrapping this thing up. Good morning. Day 2 on our 7x10 Tranquility Pond. And boy, is it sunny. Let's see, do I look good? I always look good, right? So a couple things I wanted to touch upon, which you guys might have questions about, and I'm not sure if we even touch upon it. So when we're contacted and we start our conversations with the customer, we always need to factor in our design and our viewpoints. So viewpoints are where you're gonna be able to enjoy the pond from. And in this backyard, we've got lots. We've got an upper deck here, which is right outside their kitchen. We also have windows all along the back of the house. And of course, we have their pool area. So as the season warms up and they open up the pool, they're gonna have lots of lawn chairs out here, seating areas. They also have their grill out here, and they have this outdoor space outside the kitchen. So when we design our waterfalls and ponds, we have to take that into account and make sure that wherever they're sitting, they're gonna have a direct line of sight right to the feature. And with this one, we wanted to make sure that our waterfall is positioned in such a way that no matter where you're sitting or looking out of the house, you're gonna be looking directly at this waterfall. So what we've got to do now, we've got a rock kind of picked out. We got to see if it's going to fit in this space. We kind of want to layer it so It's tucked behind this blocker rock and our main waterfall frame rock. So Rob's gonna kind of pull that liner back. We might have to dig out some of the soil behind it because the rock we want to put there is this guy, this little pancake. Not so little, it's got about 30 inches this way, about 18 inches tall, but this one might be perfect to slide right into that space and then give that illusion that this has been layered back from the waterfall coming down. So that's what we're gonna try first. The second option would be this guy here, and then we'll close out the other side of the pond with something like this tucked into that corner there. All right guys, this is the moment you've been watching this whole video and waiting for. We have finished this project, we've plugged it in, we've transferred all the fish. We had 47 total goldfish from that holding tank, and now they're back in their new pond. They've got an awesome little cave at the bottom. We plugged it in. Now let's see what the customer thinks.
Wow, it's exquisite. It's more than I even hoped for. It's absolutely beautiful. You guys did an amazing job. Words can't even express how beautiful it is. Thank you so much.
So just look, we've got a nice sheet style waterfall coming right over the face of that stack stone, just behind it, into a little pooling area, and then through that little pinch waterfalls into the pond, pushing all that water across into the skimmer. The fish have plenty of room to be swimming around. That cave is tucked in on the bottom level down there. There's plenty of room around this pond for aquatic planting, perhaps even using a hardy water lily or some other aquatic plants just to soften up some edges here. But this, I feel, turned out amazing.